It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin. You all bought it. Hook, line, and sinker, you all bought it. If you remember that line, well, or that line is actually familiar with you, well, yeah, it was Vince McMahon admitting that he is the higher power. And for this episode, well, it is the revisit of the corporate ministry and the story behind it. In 1998, well, there's a lot of things that we have to think about in the Attitude Era. We have DX, who is actually slowly getting disbanded from 1998 up to 1999. We have the rise of the corporate ministry. Later on, corporation, them being the ultimate heels, which is followed by the Ministry of Darkness. For the corporation, well, it was led by Vince McMahon during his feud with Stone Cold. And as for the Ministry of Darkness, well, it's the Undertaker. And the Ministry of Darkness, well, they entered the fray during Austin and McMahon's feud, also feuding with Vince McMahon, talking about, well, The Undertaker wanting to have the whole company to himself. For one, the two actually feuded with the corporation and the ministry. Well, the ministry has their own moments, such as, well, building a lot of guys and the stable, creating the storyline with their members, and then when they fail, they actually punish them on live television for their failures, such as, well, the Brood getting punished, especially Christian here in this time. And while we have also, well, the corporation, to which, well, they are a corporate group to which their focus was to, well, not give Austin or not have Austin the WWE Championship, or neither the WWE Championship match, which is, well, in the Royal Rumble 1999, they screwed Austin out of that win. Because, well, in the Royal Rumble, there's a guaranteed title opportunity for WrestleMania, which is leading to a feud with Austin and McMahon before WrestleMania. And during that time, well, The Undertaker has been in a feud also with Vince McMahon. It's kind of a triple threat feud, but The Undertaker is not involving himself with Austin's business. For him, his primary target is to get the WWE or the company itself for him to be the owner. And, well, they have this huge storyline. So at WrestleMania, well, they have Big Boss Man versus The Undertaker, and they still have Austin versus The Rock for the first time. To which, well, in the end of the night, while the corporation failed, actually also with the Big Boss Man Big Boss Man's match, to which, well, they have this moment of Big Boss Man hanging in the ring, and they have The Rock losing in the main event. To which, well, yeah, Austin wins the title, they failed at that objective. To which, well, this later leads on for Austin to be still having a feud with the corporation, now being led by Shane McMahon by this time, because Vince is actually focused on protecting his daughter, because, well, by that time, due to the threats of The Undertaker and the storyline, well, Vince McMahon has to protect his daughter, which is actually slowly turning him face by this time. And while Shane McMahon, being the ultimate leader of the corporation, well, actually had segments with Vince McMahon, to which, well, he asked his father, where is the ruthless guy that actually punished Austin for months and screwed him basically for the championship, to which, well, they have that segment on Raw. And while the feud still continued with, while the corporation and Stone Cold and even The Rock turning face, to which, well, by this time his popularity is undeniable, to which, well, they turned him face because of, well, he's known by his catchphrases and, well, his wrestling charisma, to which, well, the crowd has been cheering for him in months, and they turned him face. And then later on, well, it's the formation of the corporate ministry, to which, well, yeah, it was shown that they have this group, this ultimate group, the former rivals now joining each other, plus Vince McMahon, to which, well, in this time, while Vince McMahon is acting like still a babyface, and Shane is now controlling over the corporation, and The Undertaker has, well, his ministry. Well, after that, we have The Undertaker feud with Austin for the WWE Championship, which later on leads to The Undertaker winning the title. And then later on, while we see the iconic line of Vince McMahon admitting himself as the higher power. Well, yeah, him now being the higher power, and the storyline being continued. And as for his reasonings, well, he wanted to screw Austin out of the title, which, well, yeah, which leads to a well, partnership match, to which, well, they have the whole stocks of the company, Linda and Stephanie McMahon giving Austin theirs, and Shane and Vince McMahon, to which, well, the McMahons wins that match. And later on, well, yeah, it's the start also of rather the end of the corporation and the ministry, or the corporate ministry as well. After the storyline, well, slowly the group members has been disbanded. It was also the rise of Triple H by this time, which, well, he was being billed as a contender for the WWE Championship. And while for the others, well, they are separated. They have the Brood and the Edge and Christian. Well, yeah, they have them on separate storylines, which, will Edge and Christian also by this time, well, they actually left the group alongside with Gangrel, the Brood, and they have been on tag team matches recently, to which, well, also the Brood, well, they also have been involved with the tag team championship hunt, or, well, title reigns, to which, well, yeah, the group has been slowly dissolving, to which, well, and Vince McMahon and Austin storyline, well, it stopped for a moment, to which, well, it leads to, as I told you, the end of the corporate ministry, of a match between Undertaker and Austin, and Vince McMahon being stipulated to actually leave the WWE by the time, and, well, actually not being involved in the business standpoint of the company. And then later on, while they have Vince McMahon return as a babyface, to which, well, they have Triple H now being the ultimate heel guy by 1999 to be the face of the heels by this time. And then, well, yeah, he's being the ultimate villain by this time. Austin continuing now his feud with Triple H, and then, well, the corporate ministry has been completely disbanded, as I mentioned. And yeah, The Undertaker also formed a team with the Big Show by this time, the Unholy Alliance, to which, well, they also held the tag team championships by defeating also Kane and X-Pac one of the occasions, and also Mankind and The Rock. And yeah, the corporate ministry has silently been dissolved, and, well, despite of them being still involved, like Viscera being involved in the Undertaker's matches later on, to which, well, yeah, they mentioned that they are in the ministry, but they didn't reform the group whatsoever. So the group has been disbanded, they have their different storylines, and the group members, well, they silently ended their partnership. To which, well, later, The Undertaker was injured and he was off television. Big Show winning his first WWE Championship after the Unholy Alliance group. And also, well, we have The Rock being this mega superstar, Triple H being the ultimate heel, Stone Cold being out of 1999, and Vince McMahon also being involved with storyline with Triple H, as I mentioned, and then returning to scroll The Rock at WrestleMania, and then turning heel yet again in 2000. To which, well, later on, well, we see also the return of The Undertaker, not as the same persona as the dead man, but recreating his persona now as the American badass. Paul Bearer is out of television. Edge and Christian are one of the faces also of the tag team division by winning the tag team championship a lot of times, having this TLC matches, ladder matches with the Hardys, and then later on the Dudleys. So yeah, and also well they have a lot of things that are going for them once the group has disbanded. So yeah, that's a story of them. That's the short story, and also what I noticed here. While after Vince McMahon admitting that he is the higher power, the group actually slowly, well, it is actually the beginning of the end for the group. So yeah, that's the video for today. I hope you all like it. Like, comment down below, share, and subscribe for more videos. And again, this is Mikeratto. Keep safe and peace.